Hello, and thank you for joining this Essentials for Career Success video series brought to you by the Industry Partnerships team at the Classroom to Career Hub here at MSU Denver. My name is Jessica Wade, and today we're going to review resumes that stand out at career fairs. Our learning objectives for today's video will include defining a resume, talking about what it should and shouldn't do, and we'll talk about some important do's and do nots of the resume, as well as how to present your resume at a career fair. Let's get started. So what is a resume? It's a document that serves as a marketing tool and showcases your education, experiences, and skills. It's not the same for everybody. Won't look the same for everybody. It's a story of your achievements and the things you're proud of doing, professionally, academically, and in life. Its main purpose is to help you get an interview by communicating to a recruiter your qualifications and ability to do a job. It is not what gets you the job. It just ensures or assures the recruiter that you're someone who's qualified for the job and makes them want to talk to you. Okay. So let's look here on this slide, and this is a resume template here, and we see 4 headings, and these headings are all in red type. And we see your name, and that's going to have contact info, education, and that's going to provide information about your all the schools you've attended, experience, that's going to be professional experience, internships, work experience, can mean a lot of different types of experience. We'll talk about that next. And your skills and or certifications. So these are 4 common headings on a resume. Your name and the contact info and education, they're always on there. But there are some alternatives that could be on there as well. And maybe, especially if you're early in your academic journey and you're just starting out professionally, you can use other headings such as maybe campus activities, campus involvement, community involvement. Maybe you do a lot of research or lab work, or you have other accomplishments. You can use these headings that you see here in addition to the experiences, if your experiences, if you're still growing those experiences, or you can replace them. It's really up to you. So let's go back to contact info and education, because everybody's going to have that on there. What are some do's and don'ts? Do list your name at the top of the resume. Do provide a permanent email and a phone with a professional voice message. So you can provide your MSU Denver email address. However, if you're graduating in May, know that you will lose your MSU Denver email account 6 months after you graduate. So if you're early in your MSU Denver academic journey and you're going to be here for a few more years, the MSU Denver email is okay. But if you're graduating soon, you'll want to add an alternative. Make sure your phone is working. Plan to have it working for a while, the phone number, and add a voicemail that's professional. So when somebody calls for you, they'll know that they've indeed reached you, and it will be clear that you'll get back to them. Do provide the city and the state where you currently live. Do not provide your street address. That's not necessary. And the top of the resume can also be a place to provide the URL for your online presence, such as your LinkedIn profile. Maybe you have a website that you've created to show professional work that you've done, whether that's showcasing technology you know how to use, software. Maybe you've got some research or writing samples on there. Those are also appropriate, but do not provide links or information about your personal social media. That's just not something that employers need to see. For your education, do provide information about your MSU Denver degree or degrees if you're more than one major. Provide the anticipated graduation date if you've not yet graduated. You can add your GPA if it's over 3.0. If you've gone to any other colleges and obtained a degree, you can add those on there, but only if you obtained some sort of degree, whether it's associate's degree or maybe another bachelor's degree. You can add relevant coursework. So, and this is particularly true for upperclassmen. If you're a senior and you're in a higher level class that is related to that's part of your core major coursework, and you feel like you've learned software or research skills or lab skills, you can put those on there. Also, it can be true if if you're in one major, but you've taken some classes in a separate major and you feel like you learned some solid skills in that class, then you can put that class on there as well. And you can add scholarships here or maybe a department award. So anything that highlights your academic achievements, you can put in this section as well. Okay. Now for the experience, a couple of important to-dos. You can add on-campus jobs or off-campus jobs. You can add paid or unpaid positions. Internships, also if you've done any fellowships or apprenticeships, add those. And then you may want to consider the following things as experience: campus activities, volunteer work, any community involvement, or research. Maybe these are headings themselves, or maybe you just want to include those as experience. It's kind of up to you. Do list in all of your experiences, list them in reverse chronological order, meaning the most recent first. So if you're currently employed somewhere or you have an off-campus job or a current experience that you want to add that first. For each experience, add the name of the employer or organization and where they're located, the city and state. Add the position title that you had, and add the start date and end date. Those can be done in month, year format. If you currently have a position and you're going to put that on there, you don't put the end date, just replace the end date with the word present. Couple of do's and don'ts here for that experience section. For each statement under each experience, use bullet points, okay, to make that statement, and describe the action that you took at the job, the project you were working on, and the result. And you want to use strong action verbs. So, for example, strong action verbs would be lead, teach, manage, achieve, present, gather. Those are some verbs that show you've actually done probably a project and had a result. And down here we can see an example. And here's an example of an experience that you have already completed because it's past tense. Led training of 5 new employees at smoothie and sandwich prep stations to ensure adherence to food handling and safety regulations. Okay. You provided excellent customer service by cordially answering over 20 phone calls and 15 emails per day to answer client concerns and questions. So those start with a strong action verb. There's numbers here to show how many you did, how many were affected, and what the actual outcome was. Okay. And again, these are in past tense because those would be jobs that you've done in the past. For any experience you have that you're still at, you can use present tense. Do not make up experience or half-truths. That's just something that's going to lead to problems down the line for you. So your skills, do and do not, do add functional skills and transferable skills. So a functional skill is an actual hard skill, such as a software maybe, or a coding skill that you have, again, lab equipment. Research, any research and analysis software that you may be able to use. A transferable skill is something that you really need at any job, no matter what industry it's in or what you're doing. So that may be group presentations, that may be time management. Okay. So those are skills that you can add, and those may be things you've learned in the classroom or in experiences. But if you add a skill, make sure don't add it without making sure that it's backed up somewhere else on the resume. So if you add time management as a skill, you want to be able to show that you were doing probably multiple things at once, keeping you busy earlier on the resume. And that would be by having a full course load, working for 20 hours or more, 15, 20 hours a week while you pursued your degree. Okay. Do not mislead about abilities or skills. So again, just keeping it honest. Don't put on there that you know HTML if you don't. All right, so let's look at this resume here from Lenny. Lenny's a student at MSU Denver, and Lenny's got his resume looking good. He's got a Gmail account on there, phone number, LinkedIn. They've got, let's see, Lenny's got his Bachelor of Arts, and he did provide some coursework because those are higher level courses that are going to help relay the things that he's learned and are probably pertinent for the jobs that he's looking for. Community college is on there because of the associate's degree. And then work experience includes an internship and an off-campus job that Lenny's had for a few years now while he was pursuing his degree. Okay. You can look here and see that there are strong action verbs for each statement made. It helps show the action that was taken and what was achieved. Lenny also has an activities section that helps show some things he did on campus and in the community. Okay. And then the skills section, as you can see, shows some functional skills here, some hard technical skills, and then some transferable skills that are going to be useful no matter what industry he ultimately takes or what job. And that's going to be customer service, time management, and large group presentations. All right. So when it comes to formatting your resume, do use a clean layout free of lines and graphics. Use 10 to 12 size font. The exception is your name. That can be bigger, 16, 18, but make the format consistent throughout the, make the font consistent throughout the resume. So if you start with Calibri, use Calibri without. Keep your margins between 0.7 inch and 1 inch. And 1 page is okay. Now, if you're further along in your academic career and, maybe you've also got a lot of professional experience, 2 pages is okay. Just know that all of the information you have on your resume, you want it to be relevant to the job that you're applying for. So know that. Proofread, proofread, proofread. So what a good habit here is to create your resume, put it away, come back 2 to 3 days later, and then review for maybe grammar or spelling mistakes. Have a friend or a family member look it over. Do not wait until the night before the career fair to start your resume. Why bring a resume to a career fair? It demonstrates professionalism, shows that you've prepared and that you really have some things you want a recruiter to know about you. And it's a great conversation starter. So if you have a piece of paper and to hand to a recruiter at the career fair, they can look it over and automatically start asking you questions and looking at the things you've done. And that's just an automatic way to start talking and getting to know some recruiters really well. Okay. It also gives them your contact information and they'll have it on file. So know that when you bring your resume to a career fair, print several copies of your resume. You want to print enough copies to give all the employers you intend to meet. You can review the C2 Hubs event page, and that's going to have a link to the career fairs webpage. All the employers that are going to be there at that fair will be listed on that events page. So you can review that, know how many you want to talk to, and print out enough copies to give to everybody. Where can you print that? Well, at the printing station at the career fair, that's free. Okay, we will always have a printing station for you. That's something the C2 Hub offers as part of the career fair. You can also use the library or the PaperCut software at all ITS computer labs for printing and copying. I'd say if you're going to have an electronic version, create a PDF that can be easily emailed to a recruiter. If you have a phone or a tablet, you can bring it up on the screen and they can look at it. That's a possibility, but printing is probably the best option. A couple of resources. Please review the C2 Hub student resources. It's got how to meet with career advisors, learn about our resume review software, learn about how to get your resume reviewed by professional staff, and a lot of other important information for you to know as you start your career. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope to see you at the fair.